Hello everyone and welcome to this tutorial about the creation of a 3D shell for your smartphone. To design this shell we're gonna use the xDesign apps, just right here on my screen. For the first step, make it on full screen like this and click on new component, give it a name. I will call it shell for the tutorial, but you can give it the name you prefer and click on OK. It will load the environment of xDesign. And when you are on the screen, that you're on the xDesign apps. To begin, I will give you the three main mouse shortcuts to navigate through xDesign. The first one is Alt right click to make the rotation. The second one is Control right click to make translation. And the third one is Shift right click to make zoom, like this. If you are lost in the interface or in your shape, you can always click on the cube on the top right corner to center one of his face. If I click on this face, I center on this face again and again. There is no problem, you can do that if you are lost on your shape. Before we begin, just do a right click on the standard tab like this and click on display command name. It will be easier for you to follow the tutorial with the name of the tools. Just now go and click on command preferences like this. In this menu, you can change your preferences. I'll give you the mouse shortcut for the SolidWorks profile, but if you are more efficient with the CATIA or the 3D Experience mouse shortcut, you can change them here. You can also change the length unit and the dimension decimal places, or the shortcut ring or the zoom direction, is as you want. When you have done your preferences, just click on OK. Now that you have set your preferences, we can begin the first sketch of our 3D shell. For this, go to the Sketch tab and click on Create or Edit Sketch tool, like this. Now you have to choose the face you want to draw on. It's the XY face for our case, like this. It will center automatically on it. Click on the Center Rectangle tool, like this. Place your first point in the center of your axis, like this, and your another point to do the sketch, like this. We will use, now we will constrain the edge to have the good measure. Don't hesitate to use your own measure. I will use mine for my phone, but use yours for your phone. For this, we will use the Sketch Dimension tool right here. Click on one edge of your rectangle, like this. Click again to change the measure. For me, I've got this measure here and this measure here, like this. Now that it is done, we are going to change the angle of our rectangle with the Sketch Fillet tool. Click on it and just click on the four angle of your rectangle, like this. You can adjust the radius by double clicking on it, like this. And now that you have done your first shape, just click on here to validate your sketch. As you can see, the sketch appears and you can navigate through it, like this. Now that you have done your first sketch, we are going to do the second one with the surround of the shell. For this, you just have to click on the Create or Edit Sketch tool, like this, and click on the ZX face, like this. You just have to zoom in this part right here, and to be sure our points are aligned, we are going to draw a draft line. For this, you just have to click on the line tool right here. Click here to make your first point. Be sure the V icon is displayed to be sure you are vertical with your last shape. For this, now that I got the V icon with display, I just have to click another time, like this. Click on Escape. We are going to constrain it to have the good measure with the Sketch Dimensional tool, like this. I've got this measure for me. And to make it and to define it as a draft line, you just have to right click on it and click here. If your line appears like this, it's a draft line for the software, so it's okay. Now you just have to click on the 3-point arc tool right here. Click here for your first point, click here for your second point, and click here for your third point. The cross here is the center of the cycle. You just have to take it and drag it like this. If you want to constrain it, you just have to click one time on it. The constraint will appear here. And you just have to change it, like this. If it's black, it's constraints. Well done, now you have done your second sketch. Just click it to validate it, like this. And it will appear on your shape, like this. The next step is to create the surround of the shell. For this, we are going to the Feature tab. And we are going to click on the Sweep tool, like this. A window will appear, like this. Just select the surfaces. The path is one of the edge of your first shape, like this, and the profile is your second shape, this one. As you can see, the surrounding of the shell is up here. You just be sure your tangent propagation is activated, and when it's done, you just have to click on OK. And the surrounding of the shell will appear. Now that we have done the surround of our shell, we are going to create the back of our shell. For this, you just have to go to the surface menu and click on the fill surface tool. You just have to select one edge of your faces, like this one, and be sure the tangent propagation is activated. When you see your screen like this, you just have to click on OK, and the back will appear, like this. As you can see, we have the back now of the shell. Now we have done the shell, the back and the surround of the shell. We just have to merge them in one shape. For this, you just have to use the knit tool right here. Click on the back and click on the surround, like this. Be sure the body section is activated, and you just have to click on OK. It will be, for the soft, those two shapes will be merged in one now. Now that we have done the basic shape of our shell, we are going to design the hole for the smartphone button, like the volume button, the unlock button, the charger, and your camera. For this, you just have to go back on the sketch tab and click on the create or edit sketch tool, like this. Just select the ZX face again, center here, for the volume button, and click on the centerline slot tool. Make your first point. Be sure the edge appear to be aligned, to be sure your points are aligned. Click a second time and click a third time for finishing your shape. Now we are going to constrain it again with your own measure, like I said before. For me, I've got this measure and this measure of this value, like this. I got this measure 2 and this measure 2 of this value, and this measure and this measure, and finally this measure and this measure of 5, like this. When you have fully constrained your sketch, you just have to validate it right here. As you can see, the sketch is appearing. We will use it later. Just rename it to be sure to be sure on your sketch. Click one time and click another time on it. I will call it volume, like this. And now we are going to do the unlock shape. For this, you just have to click on the create or edit sketch tool again, select the ZX face again, and draw just right here. For this, you use the same tool as we have used before. Up. Now that you have done your first sketch, we are going to do the second one. Like we have done before, click on the create or edit sketch tool, select your face, like this. Zoom here, center on it. We are going to use the centerline slot tool again. Use your precedent draft to align your point, like this. Create your shape like this, and constrain it again. For me, I've got this measure and this measure again of 30, and this measure and this measure again of 20. You don't need to do this measure and this measure because we are aligned with the last sketch we have done before. As you can see, I have the same value as did before. It's if it's not in black, it's not a constraint, it's a reference. And the last one is this measure and this measure of 5. Now that I'm fully constrained, I just validate the shape, the sketch, like this. We are going to create the sketch for the charger. For this, you just have to click on the create or edit sketch tool again. Click on the YZ face to be centered here, like this. Click on the rectangle tool, make your first point, make your second point, like this, and use the sketch dimensional tool again. Zoom right here. For this distance and this distance, I just want 0, like this. For this one, I got 6.2, and for this one I got 63, like this. I'm center, it's okay, I validate the sketch, like this. And the last one with the hole for the camera is you just have to click on create ID sketch tool, click on the XY face like this, and we will use the centerline tool again, like this. Click to create the shape, be sure the V is appearing, like this, and like this. To constrain this shape, you have to do a little rotation to have those edges. We need those edges to constrain our shape. For this, we are going to use the sketch dimensional tool, like this and like this. Up. With this measure, I've got 5.5. With this measure, I've got 4.7. And with this measure I got 30.5. And with this last one, between here and here, I got 13, like this. Well done. Now I can validate it, like this. Don't hesitate to rename them. I will unlock this one charger. Click one time and click another time to rename it, like this. Charger, and this one to be named camera, like this. Now that we have designed all our sketch, we are going to thicken our shell to solidify it. For this, you just have to click on the feature tab and click on the thicken tool right here. Be sure the body section is activated and select your shell, like this. Be sure you have the right direction. If you don't have the right direction, you will have a result, something like this. That's not good. You need something like this. 10 mm is a lot. I will just use 1.5. It will be large enough. And you just have to validate, like this. Now that our shell is thickened, we are going to create the hole for the button. For this, just stay on the feature tab and click on the extrude tool. We don't want to add, we want to cut through a solid and select a profile. You just have to select the sketch you have done before. For this, I'm going to select the volume sketch. We don't want the blind tool, but the strength one-way tool. And you just have to click on validate. And the hole is appearing. Like you can see it, the hole is right here, like this. Now we are going to do the same thing for the lock button. Go to the extrude tool, click on cut, select the profile of the lock button, and you just have to flip the way with this tool, like this, and click on the throw one way, and click on OK. And the hole is appearing also, like this, as you can see. We are going to do the same for the charger and the camera. Extrude, cut, select your sketch, charger, throw one way, and click on OK. And for the last one, we are going to use the extrude tool again. Cut, select your profile, camera, and we are going to use throw one way, and click on OK. And as you can see, you have done all your hole. To make your hole smoother and make the shell smoother for your phone, we are going to use the fillet tool to make the shape more smoother. So now just click on the fillet tool and click on this edge and this edge and this edge. Be sure the tangent propagation is activated. I don't want 1.3, but I want 2 millimeters of fillet, and click on OK. As you can see, the shape are now smoother. You can do that for another edge of your 3D shell, as you want, as you prefer. Now that your shell is finished, we are just going to add one more step to personalize it. We are going to add the text on the back of it. For this, you just have to go to the Sketch tab, click on the Create or Edit Sketch tool, rotate your shell and click on the back of it, like this. Rotate it 2 times with the top right corner arrow, and adjust your view, like this. Click on the text tool right here, like this. Enter your text, like this. Use a font size of 7mm and a spacing of 10%. I will align it and flip your text, like this. Now you just have to click on your shell, click here, like this, and validate your sketch, like this. Now that you can see our sketch is appearing on the back of it, and we are going to the feature tab now and use the extrude tool. We are going to cut with the profile of our sketch for text. We'll keep the blind option with 1mm of distance and click on OK. As you can see now, the text is on the back of our shell, like this. Now that your shell is fully finished, you can print it. Print it with a 3D printer. For this, you just have to go to the Tool tab right here and click on the Print 3D tool, like this. Select your shape. You select your shell, and now you just have to click on Export Print Format. You are going to save it, like this. Just save it. And after this, you will be able to have the .stl file to print your shell. Thank you for following this tutorial. Good luck with your shell, and goodbye.